Good evening. We're back with more Lord of the Rings LCG. And tonight it is Druadan Forest on Nightmare difficulty. Playing a Bond of Friendship deck for this one. This is another difficult quest. And the Nightmare restrictions are quite unique on this one. You start with 5 resources per hero, but you don't gain resources during the resource phase. And while that location is in the staging area, or on the board in fact, you can't gain resources through card effects, so that rules out using Steward of Gondor until the location is cleared. The restriction of 5 resources per hero is quite harsh. You get another 3 per hero, or you get to increase up to 3 per hero when you move into phase 2, I think it is. So if you had 2 on a hero, you could gain 1. If you had 0, you could gain 3. So it's in our best interest as a player to spend all the resources on each hero before moving to phase 2. And also it's good to have 4 heroes instead of 3 because you don't get a total of 15 resources between the 3 heroes. You get 5 per hero. So if you play 4 heroes, you get 20. And if you play 3, you only get 15. So 4 seems an obvious choice for this one. So get out a Gondorian shield and a couple of allies. And the encounter card is a 5 threat location. That's pretty tough. Have to spend a resource to travel to that one, I think. I'm not sure. No, you don't have to spend a resource. There just has to be a resource in each of your heroes' resource pool in order to travel there. Still not going to be able to make use of Steward of Gondor until the location that we started with is cleared. I chose to clear the 5 threat one first. I debated whether it was worth putting Steward out this round, but I decided there's no point. So I am using Frodo's resources here on his ability to lower threat and allow additional questing. And we will clear the location, not make any additional progress, and now I can work on the Garden of Poison, is it called? Something like that. We've now got Archery 6 on the table. And you can't optionally engage that enemy without spending 2 resources, which is pretty annoying. 2 resources is a steep cost when you only have 20 in total. But we do have Ioreth, so at least the archery damage can be healed off once I eventually get rid of the archers. Gonna buff Treebeard here. He should be buffed. He should be damaged 1 more. I don't know why I only did 1 damage to him there. But the enemy requires 5 to take it down. Actually, I don't know why I damaged Treebeard at all because Thalion was available to attack. So Treebeard and Thalion could have attacked to take down the enemy with no need to damage Treebeard at all. He's got 1 more damage than he should have at this point, but oh well. So we're going to try to clear out that garden. That's why I put out Steward this round. As soon as the location is cleared, then I can use Steward this round. It'll be later in the round, too late to use the resources, but at least I can have them for future rounds. Resources are so limited in this one. So clear the location, and then I can immediately use Steward for the resources. And it does cost 2 resources to engage the archer. So I healed with Ioreth, and likely the archery damage goes right back on him. And I am going to spend the 2 resources to engage this enemy. Threat's doing okay with Frodo and Beregond. And once again, I damaged Treebeard even though I don't need to. Now I've figured out where Treebeard's damage should have been last time if I had damaged him to attack. So I rectify it to 2, but I realized probably that I didn't even need to do that, but I didn't fix the mistake because it hurts me. I usually only fix mistakes if it helps the enemy, or if I made a mistake that benefited me, then I'll fix it. That mistake did not, so I don't fix it. It was just a stupid thing I did by not paying attention. So Prowl 1 means 1 resource removed, which is a big deal on this quest. I'm now making at least a little progress on phase 1. Slow going though. And I've got no resources remaining, but I'm close to clearing the board. And I do generate some resources with Steward of Gondor. And I have a good harvest, so I can make use of them. So it's going to buff the enemy up to 5, but Beregond has defense of 6. And got a choice about which enemy to take out. Gonna deal with the drummer. Adds threat to the staging area. On to the next round. So gonna quest with almost everyone that's available. Could have sent Thalion as well. But I'm playing it conservatively so that I'll have the actions available to combat. And I could use Boomed and Trumpeted here, which would take out the enemy, but I decide not to. Still not generating any resources except through Steward of Gondor. So I could get out Legolas here, but I decide instead to get the Warden of Healing on the table. Probably if I hadn't made the mistake earlier and put damage on Treebeard, I wouldn't have spent those resources, or the good harvest on Warden of Healing in this case. I would have saved my resources for Glorfindel or perhaps Legolas. But we are making some progress on the quest now. So I can pay 1 resource to keep him here. He goes back to staging, so I'll keep him here. And Treebeard can dispatch him. So we got a clear board. Time to move on to phase 2. Probably shouldn't have used Steward of Gondor at this point, since you get 3 resources on your heroes. I could have, well, I mean, it's debatable. I wouldn't have been able to use Frodo's ability, but I would have gotten more resources. So ally damage must be assigned, or archery damage must be assigned to allies. He's going to get +4 attack, but it's not enough to get through Beregond. And we got a clear board, and we're in phase 2. When you go into phase 2, you get to set each hero to 3 resources. Well, each hero with fewer than 3 can increase to 3. So, actually don't have anything I can play here. So we'll just try to make the 17 progress needed, and then we got a boss in phase 3. 11 progress this round, and we got a location. So things are going better now. Rosy Cotton had some questing ability. Won't be able to play anything else without the second good harvest, or if I draw cheaper cards. So we're on to final phase. Druadan added to staging. You can only deal 1 damage to him each round. Characters use their willpower instead of attack when attacking. That will make Éowyn and Rosy Cotton decent attackers. So no damage on the enemy attack. And I just need to deal 5 damage here. I can only do 1 per round. Actually, I need more than that because the active location is giving bonus shields. So I buffed Treebeard up to 6, 7, 8 to deal my 1 damage. And as per phase 3, damage is dealt in the terms of progress, not damage. And when the enemy is destroyed, you take the progress and put it on the quest. And we are siege questing here. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And Rosie can add her willpower shields to Frodo, so 10, 11. Thinking about committing Beregond and readying him up with Frodo. Because of Beregond's 4 shields, plus 2 with Gondorian shield, so he adds a lot to the quest. So, gotta pay 1 resource to travel there. Been getting pretty light draws the last few rounds, just locations instead of enemies. So gotta pay 1 resource, or the enemy's gonna return to the staging area, which would increase the time to beat the quest by 1 round. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Should buff Treebeard by 1 or use Angbor there. I forgot that I was battling with willpower instead of attack power. But as Angbor was available, no problem. And this round be taking out Ghân-buri-Ghân and hopefully making enough progress to clear the quest. Beregond is always available with his 6 shields, thanks to Frodo's ability. And I could even add a Gondorian. No, there's no other Gondor hero for Gondorian shield. It can't go on allies. If I got that 1 card that turns a sword thing that turns an ally into a hero, then I could put that on a Mablung or something like that and use Gondorian shield, but No worries, we got the final damage on Druadan, and we've got the progress on the quest, so that will end the game. This is a difficult quest. It can be quite difficult because of the resource restrictions. Kind of limits the decks that can succeed at this. 3 hero decks I found struggled because of the limitation of only 15 resources instead of 20. So I like a 4 hero deck for this. It's a much harder quest on Nightmare than on normal difficulty. So thanks for watching.